Hello, my friend. You may have seen some burger palettes recently on my makeup news show called What's Up in Makeup, and I saw them too, and I was wondering, are these burger food themed palettes actually good? Or is it just a gimmick? Like, what is going on here? Is it just packaging? I don't know. I was curious. So I bought both the one from Glamlite Cosmetics and the one from Bombshell Cosmetica. And today we're doing a burger palette smackdown. So if you're curious about that, hang tight. We're getting into it right now. This is going to be an everything you need to know, and these do run a little bit long, so if you want to skip to a certain section of the video, please look in the video description and find the sections that you're most interested in. All right, so the first thing we're gonna start off with is how they came and the outer packaging and inner packaging of the products. So the Bomb Burger palette came just like this in this McDonald's looking packaging, and it was, I can't remember if it was in bubble wrap or something. I feel like it was in something here that kind of stopped it from sliding around. So you open up the box, it kind of looks like a French fry container, and then inside you get this palette here. It is a laminated cardboard, and then it's magnetic, and you open it up, and then these are your eyeshadows inside. There's also a mirror on the inside of this, so you can kind of hold that, or you can prop this up however you like, and then it just magnetically sticks back just like that. Now the Glamlite palette came a little bit fancier. Instead of more like a burger style paper container, it came in a almost pizza-like style cardboard box. And then you can see the picture on the front. I think that's super cute. And then you open it up and it actually has this, checkered wrapping on there like you might get at a burger joint. I think Five Guys has packages like that. And then you pull your burger out of there. And the first thing I noticed with this is how big it is. It's like as big or not bigger than my head. And then it's got a hinge here, and this is squishy. It's like a plastic and it's squishy. And then you open it up, and then inside you have a burger print, you have a circular mirror here, and it says Glamlite, and then all of your shades here on a giant piece of cheese. The only place you can buy these palettes are on their individual websites, at least that I've seen, and it does seem like the Bombshell one is currently sold out. I don't know if they're going to restock it. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that in another section, but right now it is sold out. This one is still available for purchase. As far as where these products are manufactured, the Glamlite one says that it's made in the People's Republic of China, and this one actually doesn't say, the one from Bombshell, which is technically misbranding, and they could have their palettes recalled. You must list somewhere on the outer packaging or on the palette where the product is manufactured, and unless I'm just going crazy, I cannot find it anywhere on either one, which is not good at all for Bombshell Cosmetica. I have a feeling this is probably made in China just based on the price point of it and what I've seen of price points of other products that are made in China versus ones that are made in the United States. Now, cruelty-free status. I do have a video that I just put up about cruelty-free status and China. You can manufacture a product in China and have it be cruelty-free as long as it is not sold to Chinese consumers. And I believe that's probably what's happened with both of these palettes. They both claim to be cruelty-free. This one has the PETA logo here, and I believe this one has, yes, the PETA logo on the back of the box, and also the Glamlite one is also vegan. The Bomb Burger one may be vegan. Looking at the ingredients, it looks like it's vegan, but it's not advertised as vegan, so I don't want to tell you it is for 100%. Brand controversies. I couldn't find any big brand controversies about either one of these brands except for with Bombshell Cosmetica, and it's more of a customer service issue. And I kind of had an issue in that I got a shipping notification for this palette and 2 weeks went by and my product still wasn't shipped. So I sent them an email and was like, hey, is this gonna ship anytime soon? Yeah, they give you like the tracking number and you can check and it says, the label has been created, but it hasn't actually been shipped. That's what happened, and it sat there for 2 weeks. I had the palette in my hand 3 days later. So they must have shipped it pretty stinking quickly after I sent the email, but they never emailed me back. When I posted on Twitter about that I was having trouble with this being shipped, a lot of people responded that they were having the same problem with their Bombshell Cosmetica order. It seems like customer service may not be great with this brand. I did not have a great experience. One thing I will say though is that the box, I will put a picture up for you of the box and how it arrived. They did put a fragile sticker on it, and the USPS just wrecked my box. And when I opened it up, I was so stinking scared that it was gonna be all wrecked and destroyed inside, but it was wrapped in so much bubble wrap that it was 100% perfectly fine. So I do wanna thank them for wrapping it so well, because USPS just wrecked my box. But I got no stories about Glamlite. I got nothing for you. Now, as far as price and value, I bought this one for $40 and it was free shipping. No story there, but I have a story about Bombshell. So I went on the website, I paid $23.99, and then they had a coupon. It was like a general website coupon for 10% off. So that took 10% off, and then I paid $8.99 for shipping. Remember the box coming all wrecked? I guess I paid $8.99 to make sure it was in all that bubble wrap. So I ended up paying $30.59. I went on their website today before I filmed. Their website says the original price was $37.99 on the website. Like, what? And they say that now it's marked down to $30, and they've got deep discounts all over their website up to 80% off. But it seems like they've increased the prices to discount them to make it look like the discounts are more. That's not cool, man. That's so deceptive. It's not cool. But the fact that there's so much discount on their website makes me a little nervous for Bombshell Cosmetica, that maybe they're not doing very well and trying to get rid of a lot of product. I have no evidence of that. That's just kind of a pattern I see with businesses that aren't doing well. They tend to put things on a deep discount, and that's what seems to be happening over at this brand. Now, as far as value, we're gonna go on the whatever I paid, including shipping. For the Glamlite palette, each pan is almost 2 grams of product, which is a lot of product. I like to see at least 1 gram of product, so you can have a lot of time to really enjoy your products. When we go to an ABH palette, some of the Urban Decay, like the little square pans, Lorac, we're going under 1 gram of product. This has almost 2 grams of product per pan. In Bombshell's palette, they're about 1.5 grams of product, which is still a decent amount for an eyeshadow. There's the same number of shadows per palette, so we've got a total of 31.68 grams total for Glamlite. That makes it $1.26 per gram, which is very inexpensive compared to, let's say, a higher end palette. Even some drugstore palettes, they seem very cheap, but they give you very little amount of product. Anything under $2 for 1 gram of product is a really good deal. That being said, because this one was less expensive, we're looking at $1.27 per gram of product with the shipping, and if we take the shipping out, we're looking at $1 per gram of product. So these are very inexpensive, and that's why I'm saying this was probably made in the People's Republic of China, and why this one, if this was made in the USA, we'd be paying $50, $60 for it, including the packaging, so I'm sure this packaging was not cheap. I got a little ingredient analysis for you. If you have allergies or if there's certain ingredients you like to avoid, here are a couple things for you. Both palettes are talc and mica based. One thing to keep in mind about the Glamlite palette is there is an ingredient in here that's very high up called ethahexyl palmitate. Some people do not use palm oil derivatives because of environmental reasons. There's also propylparaben in here. Parabens, there's a lot of negative press about parabens. Unless you have a specific allergy to parabens, I personally do not have a problem with parabens in my cosmetics. I will link some resources for you down below that explain it. I'm not going to go into it a ton here. One thing you do need to keep an eye out for that made me a little it made me a lot irritated is that this palette, technically by FDA standards, is not eye safe. There's nothing on here that calls it an eyeshadow palette. That is your first hint. You look here. Nothing that says it's an eyeshadow palette. You read the description on the back. It just says the burger palette contains 16 of the most popular and delicious and delectable toppings ever. But there's nothing on here that indicates that this is not FDA approved for eye use. Now, I haven't seen a ton of marketing for this showing people putting it on the eyes. I would imagine on their Instagram, they've probably got some pictures of people using these on their eyes, but just so you know, the FDA would not allow this to be called an eyeshadow palette because of the red pigments in here, which allow it to be vegan. It does have red 6, red 21, and red 27, and another thing that's really tricky is it does not say that on the back. All it does is give give you the CI numbers, and you have to look up each individual CI number unless you have whatever, the red pigments memorized, which I personally don't. That was like, are you kidding me? Like that bothered me a lot. I mean, we've talked about this before with the James Earls Morphe palette, with the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette, with the Manny MUA Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag palette. I mean, there's lots of palettes like that. Urban Decay had one, but they all say on there, at least in some way or fashion, that it's not eye safe. This one does not. One last thing to note about this is it does have some pigments in here, chromium oxide green and ultramarines, that are not lip safe, so I wouldn't recommend tapping this onto your lips for extra shine or to change the color of your lip color. Moving on to Bombshell Cosmetica, we talked about the talc and the mica. Another thing to keep in mind about this one is it does have bismuth oxychloride as an ingredient, not as a may or may not contain. So if you're sensitive to that ingredient, it's a very sharp pigment. It can be very scratchy, it can stick in pores. If you've never had an allergic reaction to eyeshadows before, you're probably not sensitive to it. I'm not sensitive to it, but I do like to mention it in case you are, because it can irritate people. There's lots of pigments in here that are also not lip safe, but there is no carmine, and these are eye safe. This has been labeled an eyeshadow palette. You can see it everywhere, eyeshadow palette, because these are FDA approved pigments for eye use. All right, so now that we've gone through the nitty gritty of these eyeshadow palettes, and now I'm going to go ahead and show you swatches and comparisons of these shadows next to each other, so you can see, like, maybe you might want one, or maybe you might want the other one if this one comes back in stock, and just kind of showing you general performance. And even if this doesn't come back in stock, it'll give you an idea of what Bombshell Cosmetica eyeshadows are like. wanted to make a little note because I'm noticing that some of these shades are brush swatching really badly. I haven't noticed as much of this on the eye as I'm seeing on the arm. They seem to stick to the eye better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of primer over here, which I never do because everybody's primer is different and I don't think that it's necessarily an accurate way to swatch so that it's helpful for you because everybody tends to use different primers. But I do wanna show you a little bit of primer over here just to see if I can get this purple to swatch better. So you definitely want to use a primer with this formula. I am going to continue to swatch without a primer though, because I do feel like, you know, using a primer that you may not have is a little bit deceiving. But just know that if you use a primer, you're probably gonna get closer pigmentation to this rather than this. So here are the dupes within the two palettes. I do feel like overall they're pretty close. These are one swipe swatches, unlike the ones that I did a moment ago. These are just one dip in the pan, so you can really see the difference between the shades. I mean, overall, I really think that you can use these for the same purpose. This one down here I had swatched, and I thought they might be kind of close, but they weren't. So I kind of tried to wipe it off, but that's why there's remnants of like reddish pink there. That one didn't work out. But these are the ones that are closest within the palettes. So it's definitely limited by the fact that the Bombshell one has no shimmer shades, where the Glamlite one does have shimmer shades. And that is it for the swatches of the two palettes. I hope you found those helpful. And now on to the next part. Now you've seen the swatches, it is time for a demo of how I've got this look today. On this eye, I do have the Bomb Burger palette, and on this eye, I have the Glamlite Burger palette. We've got two different palettes. I tried to match them up as best as I could. Before I turned the camera on for that, I did top my lids with the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. My lids look roll discolored this morning. I don't know if I'm not getting enough sleep or what, but I really needed something that was kind of full coverage over my lid. So this was applied beforehand, but everything else is exactly the same. We're gonna use the exact same brushes and we're gonna apply it, and I'm gonna show it to you so you can see how they perform.
I was worried you broke my reputation, but I figured it's not on me. Yeah. The way you're making me shiver, your hands on myself, I keep pulling the trigger, alright. This very finger for people like them. Oh no. Well, darling, on my mind, I'm feeling so fly up in the zone now. I'm like a golden crown, whirling high up in the sky. Oh, it's the way you make me feel so good, feel so good right now. It's the way you make me feel so good.
All right, my friends, it is time for me to take my leave of you. It is time for our wear test. It is currently, let's see, 2:42 in the PM. I will be back later this evening and we will talk about how these eyeshadows wore for the day. And actually, before we go, I do want to show you real quick, because I didn't get to use any of the Glamlite shimmer shades because the Bomb Burger palette doesn't have any shimmer shades in it. So I didn't get to use any of those. So I do want to show you a look that I did create just with the Glamlite palette using some of the shimmers. They were amazing. I also want to mention about the shade Blue Cheese. Fell in love with that shade when I used it. The shimmers are very, very nice. But that's the last thing I want to say before I leave for the next 8 hours. It'll only take a second for you. I'll see you in 8 hours. Bye! Okay, so, yeah. This isn't the wear test results for the Burger Palette SmackDown. This is a completely different look because Jen messed up. And can you hear me okay? Hopefully you can hear me okay, because in the original footage, apparently I forgot to turn on the microphone. So yeah, so this look actually you're going to hear more details about on Friday when I do my favorites and fails countdown, which is what I filmed today. But I am going to show you the footage. I just have to kind of talk over it because there's no sound. So I will still be able to show you the wear test results. It's just, you know, with a little bit of voiceover. So you might notice right away that I did change my shirt, and that was because I kind of felt like the gray shirt that I was wearing, which is the Tayla's merch, I felt like it didn't really match the eye look once it got it on, and I wanted you to be able to see what it looked like with a different shirt. So we can go ahead and we can zoom in on the eyes, and I can show you what they looked like at the end of the day. And honestly, I thought they both looked really, really good. I do feel like the Glamlite lasted just a little bit more. You can see in the crease where it's just a little bit deeper in the crease, but I mean, really and truly, it just looks you know, both sides look still extremely vibrant, and I'm very happy with the way both sides look. So I do feel like the Glamlite palette does give off the jump more pigment, more vibrant of a look. I definitely like the quality of these shadows better, but that being said, I do really like the Bombshell ones as well. I feel like they're more like a buildable formula, which may be better for people that are newer to using makeup because you can really build up that pigmentation. Now, when we talk about the color selection, I do think that Glamlite did a better job at capturing the essence of a burger, you know, with the colors. I feel like they really nailed it on the color selection, but there's a downside to that. And the downside is that we've got a lot of green and red. And if you know the color wheel and what happens when you use eyeshadows that are opposite on the color wheel, we end up with mud in the middle. But they're really smart in that you can really use these shades kind of in the corners here. So we can use like the blues and the greens and the yellow a little bit, and then we can on another day use like the pinks and the reds and the browns, and the browns could really be used for either when it comes down to it. So I think there's still a lot you can do with this, but you have to have an eye for which shades will work together and which won't. And if you have any question, just go to your Google color wheel and don't use ones that are opposite each other. Simple as that. Now, as far as the Bombshell color selection, I have seen so many people request an all matte colorful palette that has bright, vibrant shades. This is it, man. I mean, it's got all kinds of really cool, fun shades to play with, and they are all matte, which really is kind of fun. But I do think that this is a little tricky to work with, especially if you're kind of newer at working with eyeshadows. Just kind of pairing them together, knowing what to pair together. Remember to use that color wheel. But I mean, I don't think either of these palettes are really super beginner friendly. They really are just more fun. And also they're not like quote wearable. And I know people don't like when I use the word wearable, but I think everybody knows what I mean. If you're going to an office job where bright makeup is not welcome, I don't think either of these palettes are going to be for you. They're both very vibrant, and they're very, you know, in your face, bam. And another thing that people won't like these things for is neither of them are very travel friendly. I mean, this magnet comes off super easy. You throw this in a bag, this is gonna come open super easy. And then this one's just huge. So really it is going to come down to the color selection and whether you feel like you can work with palettes like this as far as the shades. So thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I apologize that I messed up on the sound, but you get a preview of my look for Friday. So, you know, and I'll tell you everything that's on my face and everything then. Thank you so much for watching the Burger Palette Smackdown. If you've tried either one of these palettes, make sure that you leave comments down below about what you think of these two palettes, because we need to learn from you in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, where we help each other not to buy crap and to buy things that are totally worth it. And if somebody's comment helps you, make sure you hit the thumbs up on their comment and or leave them a thank you comment. Those little things in life, just being kind to each other, just really means a lot and goes a long way. And while you're doing that, if you are in the mood to thumbs things up, you can thumbs up this video. It helps me with visibility on YouTube. It tells YouTube that, hey, this is a video we should share with other people. Another thing you can do is if you want to see more content from me, you can hit the subscribe button down below and I'll show up in your subscriptions feed so that you can make sure that you don't miss a future video. And if you'd like to hang out longer, I think that's awesome. YouTube is currently recommending a video for you down in the corner. You can click on that and continue hanging out, which I would love to hang out with you some more. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Mad love to you, and I will see you in this look in a video very, very soon.